And before I forget, the last so-called formula that you need to remember is something called 360 upon n. So this you end up using when or if in your paper they basically give you a circle and they ask you to construct any of the regular polygons inside the circle. So this is what you need to do then. So let's say they have already given you a circle. Next time you make a circle, make sure you don't get points like this and it's a uniform circle if the circle is your final output. If it's supposed to be a construction line, then this is okay. I will not eat your head over. Although I do like precision and I'm very stingy about marks when it comes to accuracy. So you have to groom yourself accordingly. Okay, coming back to what we are doing. Your center is over here. Okay, that's a big blob. But also remember, if you have to ever make a center, never ever make it like that. Best way to make is this. So the intersecting point is where your actual center is. And even in your graphic products paper, you'll notice this rather than that. So let's say you've been given this and they say you have to construct a triangle. Now you have to also remember, if say this is your triangle, how do you find the center of the triangle? Basically you do an angle bisector. So find the side bisector, join it to that vertex. Similarly, find this side bisector, join it to that vertex. And if you want, you can find this side bisector as well, just to make sure your point is right in the center. And that's where you find it. So what we are going to do is we are going to start from there and we are basically going to find out this, this, and that. So what we end up doing is, if this is your, let's say, circle, that angle is 360 degrees. So if we divide it into 3, that means 120, 120, and 120, we will get our 3 diagonals, and wherever they intersect the circumference is where you need to join them. So if you have this, and sometimes it is possible that you may not get a perfect edge over here. They're okay with it as long as you know what you're doing. So let's say visually we decide that it's going to be somewhere here. All you need to do is put it against that as well as against that point. So the center point against this point. So that's your 0 and you need to go 120. So this is your 120, which means if I join these two and if I join these two, this takes care of 2 diagonals for me. This diagonal and that diagonal. All I now need is the 3rd diagonal. So again, you put it in the center, you match that edge that you have made or the radius that you made over here, you go off to 120 degrees. Okay, and you join the 3rd segment or this radius. So once you have this in place, all you now need to do is join these 3 with a darker line. So in my case, it's going to be obviously the orange line, or let me make it like this also. So with the pencil, all I can happily do is make 1 line there, 1 line over here. So if you remember, Dhruv, we keep having our bets for 1 candy. If for now, if you end up doing something like that, where if you notice this line is not meeting that point, can you see? It's still inside the circle rather than being somewhere over here. So there is a slight difference. For now, I don't have a problem if I can see that you are learning and you're figuring it out. But at a later stage, if I see that, or if I end up seeing that, then you've had it. So coming back, That's how you do a triangle. Similarly, if you had a square, you will obviously find that center. That center becomes this center. You know, if I divide 360 by 4, each of these are going to be 90 degrees. And therefore, if I make 90-degree radii on either side, and if I join them, I will get a square inside the circle. Same thing can be done for a pentagon, where you divide 360 by 5, for a hexagon 360 by 6, sorry, there, and 360 by 8. So if they ask you to make it inside a circle, then you will do this. Then they will not ask you for an edge length, because they know that it's very difficult to work with that. So this is one formula that you have to remember, and the other one that you have to remember is n minus 2 into 180 upon n.